Greatness. Greatness is hard to define. If we could put a finger on what greatness is, it would be probably put into some algorithm and then replicated over and over. Greatness is often achievement. Greatness is often your ability to kind of dig deep when most wouldn't. It's a skill set unlike any others. This weekend I saw two fighters I'd define as great, Katie Taylor and Shakur Stevenson. This video is going to be about Katie Taylor, though. We're going to do a separate video about Shakur Stevenson for those listening on the Substack, audio, of course. But this is the video portion that I'm making it for. Katie Taylor is one of those fighters that I put up there with the greatest modern fighter, who's Alexander Usyk, up there with Naoya Inoue, up there with Terrence Crawford, Bivol, Beterbiev, Bam Rodriguez. Someone that's earned their spot in the sport strictly on merit, you know. I think there's a big comparison to Taylor and Usyk because, well, it's not completely fair because Taylor did have a country behind her, and there were times where maybe she could have lost a fight here and there because they were close and competitive. In the middle of her professional career, it looked like Katie Taylor was a little bit too willing to exchange with opponents and looked vulnerable. In this, what I believe will be the final fight between her and Amanda Serrano, she just showed a level difference. Yes, they're both aging. This is not the best version, but Katie Taylor did what great fighters do. She showed her greatness. Great fighters turn back the clock when it's time to define their careers. She turned back the clock not unlike Nonito Donaire did against Naoya Inoue. She looked like the fighter she was in 2019. And though the fight was competitive, like Dakota said in the podcast, nothing about this fight was close to me. I didn't see this as an Amanda Serrano being in this fight. She kept up with Katie Taylor, but Katie Taylor took over this fight. And though Amanda Serrano is very good, more than likely a Hall of Famer, Katie Taylor's great. And if Serrano were to win one of the fights, it would have been the second one, but she gave away that second half of the fight. That was the fight she probably would have won, right? And in the end, I don't think it's as much about... Sorry, my bug zapper was going crazy. It's not as much about the results, although it's great that Katie Taylor's 3-0. If you're her, you can always say, I beat arguably my biggest rival in my career 3 times, and she never beat me once. I think the fact that a great modern trilogy between two women boxers happened and existed changed the sport of boxing. I remember doing a podcast, and many people at the time when they had their first fight, that was the best fight of the year. People didn't want to acknowledge that as being able to be the fight of the year. Now I think that's normalized. Women's boxing, a great bout between two women fighters, women combatants. It's not unheard of for it to be ranked right up there with men. And just 2 to 3 years ago, that was mind-boggling to some. And that's the importance of this, is not just did they kick down barriers, not just did they break attendance records and get huge viewership, they normalized greatness in women's boxing. And it's happened before with fighters like Clarissa Shields. It'll happen again with other fighters who are emerging, like Ella Scotney, who I'm going to make a video about because she's that friggin' awesome and she's underrated. But the fact that this happened, this set the precedent, that's what this is about. It's about greatness. Katie Taylor is a very, very special fighter, and those special fighters always tend to have a way of getting the last laugh. But Serrano has nothing to be ashamed of. Multi-division world champion. But on top of that, without her, Katie Taylor never would have had a rivalry this good. So though we've concluded this, it really is also the beginning of a new era of women's boxing.